off the lakefront towards our broadcast position, looking westward. And that could play into the game, particularly on crosses, although the wind is moving around. The flag was blowing straight at us. Now it's actually blowing away from us. So we'll see what happens with regards to the wind. Ball played forward by RKC. And taken in by Joseph Galante, who is the keeper tonight for Edgewater Castle FC. Edgewater willing to play out of the back, and let's see how aggressive this Edgewater FC team decides to be again against this RKC Third Coast side that has only surrendered 4 goals. The only team that has allowed fewer in the Heartland Division is Minneapolis City FC, which again has just been head and shoulders above the rest of the division thus far. They have scored 21 on the season in getting their 5 victories. Ball played back. That's Eamon coming forward. He'll send across. It'll be headed towards goal, but up and over the top, no. However, they'll say it was deflected, and we will have a corner kick for RKC Third Coast presented by the Prairie School. And it's a big weekend for the Prairie School as well, as their girls qualified for the WIAA State Soccer Tournament. We'll be talking about that tournament a little bit throughout the night. Of course, on the girls' side, with the Prairie School being a part, one of 16 schools that is sending teams to Eline Soccer Park later this coming week. Cross is handled by the keeper. They're going to try and get out quickly on the counter, but that ball is sent too far forward off of the fingertips of Galante, and it will be taken by Benjamin Graham, who will be content to work things through the back for RKC Third Coast. Nick Diana in goal tonight for RKC Third Coast. As you can see, the backs for RKC Third Coast, you do have Joao Pinto in the back. Over the top of the ball, sends it over to the far side. Fabian Alvarez Montenegro will be on the near side. And right now, over the top of the ball, that is Nick Pendleton. He'll send it towards the near side. Nice ball played forward by Nick Senek. Crossed. And sent out to touch, looking for Bienvenu Junga. But he was too far behind the ball. Ball sent out into touch. It'll be a throw-in for RKC Third Coast. Montenegro comes forward. He will take the throw. 1-2 ball back, looking for another cross perhaps. No, they'll play it to the edge of the 18, and it will be taken away momentarily by Edgewater, but then a ball played across. Once again, looking for Senek. Could not find him. RKC Third Coast, edge of the 18. Senek left alone. He's going to have an opportunity. Shot is saved. Senek 1v1 against the keeper, Galante. Put it right into his mitts. Beautiful opportunity in the 4th minute for RKC Third Coast, but Galante makes the save. Senek's going to go back and look at that video from this perspective and say, I should have at least tried to play the ball on an angle. Put it right on the keeper, and he merely had to knock it away. Not to mention, the keeper couldn't handle that ball. It was played with too much pace, and that did allow Edgewater Castle to clear. Ball played back. Carlos Navarez. This will be sent towards goal, but it'll be saved. That was Hans Hinke who took that shot just outside the 18, but it didn't have much pace on it with the left foot. No problem for Nick Diana. Ball sent out to touch. Comes off the foot of Jack McFeely for Edgewater Castle FC. Throw in for RKC Third Coast. Already an action-packed match, and we're just 5 minutes in. Mentioned that we'll talk some tonight about the WIAA State Girls Soccer Championships coming up also. Of course, we've got some World Cup to talk about, too. We'll be bringing up both throughout the course of the evening. Of course, big victory for the United States to get things started. Always good to get those 3 points and to help out the goal differential early on as well. Throw in deep in the attacking third for RKC Third Coast. Alvarez Montenegro. Junga. Plays it back to Alvarez Montenegro. Cross in, coming off his line to handle it. Galante. He'll roll it to the feet of one of his defenders. Trying to skip the midfield. 50-50 ball won momentarily by RKC third coast. Second ball also at the feet of Nicholas Senek, but we'll have a whistle and a foul. That will be called against David Shalik. I have to tell you, folks, just seeing these Edgewater Castle uniforms for the first time now, and my goodness, those are some of the most difficult numbers to interpret I think I've seen. Not just the fact that they are light blue on white with a thin blue outline, but they are also in a semi-modern Germanic font that is narrow and very small holes to the number. So we will do our best to try and identify the Edgewater Castle FC players throughout the night. But if we happen to misidentify one because of the numbers being so difficult to identify, I apologize in advance. Nice work to dispossess on the part of RKC third coast. Edgewater player goes down. No whistle. Ball played to the far side. Nice 1-2 ball. Nevarez to the far side. Push. Edge of the 18. And we're going to have a booking just that quickly. We will have a set piece from just outside the 18. And a yellow card has been shown to Joao Pinto. So I'm being told number 4 is Jack Wanschneider, listed as number 5 on the program, but my understanding is he's wearing number 4 tonight, so we will make that change. Our apologies. I saw him there, and I saw the number 4, and I was thinking maybe Joao Pinto got a haircut. Wasn't sure. He's not usually one to have the blonde hair, but no, that is Jack Wanschneider. He has the yellow card that starts the bookings for the evening. Meanwhile, dangerous opportunity here. Two-man wall knocked away by Diana. Out across the goal line. It'll be a corner kick now for Edgewater Castle FC. Diana deciding to set the two-man wall. The set piece went towards the near post, but Diana able to make the diving save. Corner. Headed away by Wanschneider. Wanschneider was clearly behind the attacking player and pushed him down. The intentionalness of the foul is probably what drew the yellow. But one could also make the case that's what you call a professional foul. In the sense of worse things could have happened had he not committed that foul. You'll accept the yellow. You get 5 of them before you get suspended. Sometimes it's better to take the booking than surrender the goal. Speaking of Wanschneider, he gets a touch as Edgewater cleared the ball across the midfield stripe, but RKC Third Coast was able to get possession back. Nice ball played over to the far side. That's Nick Pendleton. Takes it inside the box. He's got a couple different options. Finds Junga. Junga tries to play a ball towards the near side. It deflects off an Edgewater player. Edgewater clears, but RKC gets possession back. They'll continue to work out of the back. Wanschneider. Good triangulation on the part of RKC Third Coast as they will play it back. I believe that's Pinto wearing number 5, correct? Asking my broadcast producer tonight, Wayne Howard, also happens to be the team owner. So Wanschneider and Pinto just decided to do a kit swap before the match. It's the impression I'm getting. Don't know if they got a good picture or not. Maybe they autographed it for each other, you know. Usually you do that after the match. Apparently they did it tonight before. Ball sent out to touch with pace. Perhaps overly aggressive on the part of William Spitznagel there. RKC bench has to knock that ball down, but after it goes out to touch, RKC Third Coast with the throw in. Nice move. Ball taken off the foot, however, of Fabian Alvarez Montenegro, who has looked sharp early on in this contest. He was able to beat a defender there. RKC Third Coast with possession in the back right now. Diana content to just stand over the ball for a moment. Now he'll play it over to the far side, and that is Alvarez Montenegro. Looking forward for Junga. Junga got a step on the defender, tried to play the ball forward to himself with the back heel, couldn't do it. Possession taken momentarily by Edgewater Castle FC. They did have the threat on the set piece, but possession thus far has been with RKC Third Coast most of the time we have played in the first 11 minutes of this match thus far. And they get possession back right there. Pendleton had it. Was cleared away from him. Sent back to Wanschneider. Now played over to the far side. Once again, Alvarez Montenegro. Low cross in the middle. On top of it, Pendleton turns, shoots. It is saved by Galante. Galante clears it away, or the Edgewater, we should say, clears it away. And RKC once again gets possession. Perhaps some of the better attacking mindset we have seen out of RKC Third Coast thus far, as they have looked solid and appear to be knocking at the door through the first 12 minutes of this contest. That one is taken away from Senek, though, and now Edgewater Castle FC trying to build from the back, going with more of a tiki-taka style right now. But once again, Wanschneider able to get possession. Jack Wanschneider will be playing most of tonight's match on a booking, at least while he's out there. Having gotten that one early on in this contest. Wanschneider, an aggressive presence in the back, both for RKC Third Coast and his college team at Marquette. He'll have to be a little bit more careful as the night goes on, though. Nice ball played over the top by Amond. He can't control it, though. Once again, it's momentarily cleared, and too heavy of a touch on the near side for Pendleton will result in a throw-in for Edgewater Castle FC. Correction, that was Pinto on that ball. Once again, it goes out to touch. We'll have another throw-in for Edgewater Castle FC. David Schalik over the top of a couple defenders. Knocked about at the edge of the 18. Shot Diana, unable to collect. It will go out for a corner for Edgewater. But Nick Diana has been tested already a couple times tonight. That was a shot by Chris Tercio Chavez. RKC Third Coast Saves brought to you by Camp Shutouts, world's largest youth goalkeeper camp. Stan Anderson out in Los Angeles taking in some World Cup action right now. Spending quality time with the family as well. After the corner, ball in the middle, but we're going to have a whistle and a foul called against Edgewater Castle FC. Looked like the striker pushed down the defender on the far post. And indeed, they do call that foul against Hans Henke, resulting in an end to the threat for Edgewater Castle FC. Ball played over to the far side. A little push on the part of William Spitznagel for Edgewater. However, it is not called. The ball goes out to touch. Throw in for Edgewater Castle FC. Once again out to touch. Once again off RKC. Once again a throw in for Edgewater Castle. In the 15th minute, still scoreless, but there have been opportunities at both ends for both sides. RKC able to get possession back, at least momentarily. Junga, good turn on the ball, and he's got some runners. Plays it across to the near side. Senek along the touchline. Not really closely marked. Tries to send a low cross. It's knocked out. Corner kick, RKC Third Coast. The Prairie School in Wind Point is one of the finest private independent college preparatory day schools in the United States. Prairie serves students from early school and pre-K through grade 12. To learn more about their fantastic educational offerings, visit prairieschool.com today. Make it later, though, because we might have some excitement off of this corner kick for RKC Third Coast. Before the corner, though, our referee is going to go and have a discussion with a few of the individuals who are trying to create some traffic in front of the Edgewater Castle FC keeper, Galante. And this is a quick explanation that there has to be some freedom of movement. So, yes, you can stand wherever you choose, but you cannot be wholly restrictive. In swinger towards the far post. Goes over the top of everybody. Now a ball sent over the top. Played further back. Cross. Outstanding work by the central defenders for Edgewater Castle FC. Juan Schneider tracks it down on the far side. Tries to send it in with the right foot. Goes over the top, and they'll say that it went completely over the goal line as part of that attempted cross, which means that it is ruled to be out of bounds. And we'll have a goal kick for Edgewater Castle FC. Galante, the keeper, comes to the near side. 50-50 ball won by RKC Third Coast. Good work out of the back. To the near side. Senek. Out to touch. Throw in for RKC. RKC Third Coast did get that victory 1-0 against St. Croix Legends here at Pritchard Park last Sunday. Nice victory. First of the season for RKC Third Coast. First 3 points sometimes are the toughest. Correction, second win. The 1-0 victory for Third Coast. Goal came in the 4th minute, and it was scored by Nick Pendleton. RKC with some opportunities early in this contest, but obviously still 0-0 in the 19th minute. Juan Schneider once again out of the back. Nice single touch pass. Graham. Haven't mentioned his name much yet tonight, Benjamin Graham. Little push from behind. It does not impact him. A little more forward movement now out of RKC Third Coast. Feeling confident, having had as much possession as they have through the first 19 minutes of this match. Pinto able to look for a simple ball and get it to Pendleton. Little back heel. Good looking one to Alvarez Montenegro. Try to get it back to Baringuia. Attempted shot blocked. Zuniga. RKC Third Coast wins the second ball. Good pass forward. Chunga. Cleared away. Chunga tried to play a ball back to Alvarez Montenegro, but just put it a little bit too far in front of him and allowed the defender to make a clearing pass. Although, once again, Edgewater Castle FC, for as much as they have tried to get out and show pace on the counter early on in this one, oftentimes when they're clearing the ball down the pitch, they're not winning the second ball. Edgewater's had more success thus far when they've been a little more organized, able to get the ball to the 18, again using that more tiki-taka style, but It does seem like they really do want to get out and run on the counter from what we've seen thus far. Showing a number of different looks, and not the worst idea early on in the match to say, hey, we can do this, we can do that. You don't know how we're going to try and attack you because we're going to show you a page out of every page in the book. But RKC Third Coast has been up to the challenge thus far and has arguably had the better opportunities, even with Nick Diana already being tested a couple times. Out to touch, it'll be a throw-in for RKC Third Coast. Easily made, not much defensive pressure that far from goal, obviously, for Edgewater Castle FC. 5 yards from the midfield stripe, nowhere near the 18. Now, though, Edgewater Castle stays on the move as the ball is played over to the far side. Good work to win that one on the part of Senek. To the far side, looking for a shot opportunity, not there. One-touch shot on the part of Berenguia. And it goes well over the crossbar. Tiago, and I'm going to, apologies. We had some things going on before the broadcast, so if I sound a little less than my broadcastery self tonight, that would be part of the case. So didn't have a chance to do a lot of the usual prep work for the broadcast this evening, but making do and at least trying to provide some commentary for you here. Doing a little bit of improv, as it were, but Berigwinha, I believe is how that should be pronounced correctly. I normally have a fairly complete spreadsheet where I have information on the players' college histories and stats through the year and whatnot, and tonight I am basically just working off of 2 rosters. So, doing the best that I can. Good ball, played towards goal and saved by Galante. Nick Senek, though, and then there's contact after the keeper comes up. That is Takeru Chiba, who is down right now for Edgewater Castle FC. I will be wholly honest with you. It came well after the ball was collected by the keeper Galante. I did not even see where the contact occurred. If there was even contact, perhaps possible that Chiba went down on his own. It was off ball. Chiba now rises to his feet, and it looks like he's okay, which again speaks to the fact that there may have been some contact initiated, because how often do we see it, folks, that all of a sudden a guy gets up from something like that, and the next time, 30 seconds later, there's a need for him to play possession. He's perfectly fine. Back doesn't look like he's got any issues moving right now. Perhaps because, maybe he wanted to try and get a call. Happens every so often in this sport. But I'm sure none of you have ever seen that before. Not like there's a guy out there named Neymar or anything who kind of became famous for that, but, you know. Possession for Edgewater Castle FC. A little defensive work for RKC Third Coast to knock it away. But it'll be a throw-in for the Castle. From the far side. Coming to the ball was Tercio Chavez. But possession is taken back by RKC Third Coast. Looking for Junga as the point. Gets knocked down. We'll get a whistle and a foul call. Little surprised at that foul. Junga did go down. There was a hand on his back, but it almost looked like he went down more as a result of trying to play the ball he did than the contact. Nonetheless, RKC will take it, although they will not look to push forward off of the free kick. Instead, they'll play the ball to the near side. Pinto, Pendleton. Couple small touches of the ball. Pinto and Pendleton content to just play the ball back and forth. Goes out for a throw-in, trying to take it quickly for Edgewater Castle FC. Luke Van Leer, just one problem. The throw-in was awarded to Third Coast. Edgewater takes possession back quickly. Diana well outside of the box. Mild challenge from Hans Henke, but Nick Diana too solid over the ball to be too concerned about that. Ball played towards the near side, sees possession go back to Edgewater Castle FC. Not able to get into the area. Luke Van Leer. Relatively easy for Pinto to play it back to Diana. Diana debating which point of attack he wants to take. He'll play it short to Pinto. Pinto immediately challenged, but is able to play the ball over to the near side, and there is lots of room available for RKC Third Coast. Ball played towards net, deflected, and as a result, we will have a corner kick for RKC Third Coast, presented by the Prairie School. Looks like it'll be an outswinger from the far side. Headed away at first. Sent back from whence it came. Ball played into the middle. Junga, no. The little touch and a goal! RKC Third Coast gets on the board. It's Zuniga. Edge of the six. The ball came to his feet. It looked like Galante got a little confused. He didn't even see the shot come to him until it rattled the twine. Zuniga with the goal. And RKC Third Coast is up in the 27th minute, 1-0. The sounds of Gasolina play throughout Pritchard Park after the goal by Alejandro Zuniga. And RKC Third Coast has a 1-0 lead. The official goal sponsor for RKC Third Coast is High Point Accounting and Advisory. High Point provides outsourced bookkeeping and financial advisory services for small businesses and nonprofits across the region. If you run a business and want a team that knows your numbers, visit highpointaccounts.com. Alejandro Zuniga with the goal for RKC Third Coast. And it was Pendleton that sent the cross in from the far side. Again, not necessarily targeted at Zuniga, but he was in the right place at the right time. And if anything, the fact that there were two players who could have taken that cross was part of what confused the keeper, Galante. Ball played into the middle, one touch, and another goal for RKC Third Coast. Just that quickly. It's Ryan Amond on the front end, and it's Junga on the back end. And RKC Third Coast is now up 2-0 in the 29th minute. A beautiful touch by Junga. As a result of the great cross by Amond. And what a start for RKC Third Coast. We talked about how much possession they had in the first 20 minutes. Well, between 20 and 30, they've made the most of their possession, and they now have a 2-0 lead. Just a beautiful one-touch goal, and there really wasn't anything Galante could do. There was just too much space between the pipes behind him to defend anything but what was in front of his feet. You can get as big as you can. The goal scored by Junga in the 29th minute, assisted by Ryan Amond. Whistle and a foul. By the way, that is another goal for RKC Third Coast that is sponsored by High Point Accounting and Advisory. High Point provides outsourced bookkeeping and financial advisory services for small businesses and nonprofits across the region. If you run a business and want a team that knows your numbers, including the numbers of goals that you have for your finances, visit highpointaccounts.com. And if your finances are anything like the goal total for RKC Third Coast in this match, maybe you need to give me a loan or something, because wow. RKC Third Coast, 2 goals, ultimately within 2 minutes. And now they have possession again, looking for a third. Ball played towards goal, and it goes wide of the mark. No touch from Galante, and it will be a goal kick for Edgewater Castle FC. Well, we've been talking about this throughout the season, the few times that we've been on the broadcast thus far, the fact that we've waited for a breakthrough night like this for RKC Third Coast. And yes, you get that 1-0 victory last weekend, but also to see them come out like this. And we mentioned the low-scoring matches that RKC Third Coast has played, something that here in USL2 you don't always see. All of a sudden tonight, something seems to have clicked, and RKC Third Coast has strung together 2 outstanding balls that have found the back of the net. Nice move over the top of the ball on the part of Nico Pendleton. And we'll have another kick for RKC Third Coast, brought to you by the Prairie School. Just waiting on the corner kick right now for RKC Third Coast. The Prairie School on the girls' side advanced with a 2-0 victory over Kenosha St. Joe's. A little RKC-related rivalry there. But they are headed to the state tournament, which will start up on Thursday. I will be there, as I often am. Once again, waiting on the corner for RKC Third Coast, and we have more discussion now between the referee, this time not in front of the goal, but at the edge of the 18. And we continue to see, you see Juan Schneider there, almost trying to make a basketball post move to create some space. Junga pushed down in the box. Cross goes well outside the box, and we'll have a whistle and a foul against RKC Third Coast. Shouldn't say well outside the box. It went to the edge of the 18, but a lot of things going on during these corner kicks here, and ultimately, while we say that, it's essentially been during the run of play that RKC has scored their 2 goals. One came shortly after a corner kick, but not as part of the corner kick routine, as it were. So back to the Prairie School. They will be one of 4 schools in Division 4 that will be joining us at Eline Soccer Park. La Crosse Aquinas, Appleton Xavier, and Ozaki Random Lake. All familiar names. One's very used to getting down to Milwaukee. One of the things when looking at that field, and we do have a foul against Edgewater Castle FC, so it'll be another set piece here for RKC Third Coast. I referred to the list of 16 teams that qualified for this year's girls soccer state tournament as sort of a greatest hits list. It is many of the teams that have become dominant forces in the area. Some years you get a lot of new faces. This year, it's teams that we have known for quite a while. Kimberly, DSHA, Oregon, and Muskego. And we even talked a little bit about the DSHA connection when Raleigh Madison FC was here at Pritchard Park with Liz Lawrence and Steve Lawrence working with that program. Steve Lawrence, longtime head coach at Marquette, and their Marquette University High School, we should say. Ball played towards touch. Let's see who they say touched it last. It will be off Edgewater Castle FC. And it's another corner kick brought to you by the Prairie School. They're getting their money's worth as we talk about not just the quality of education that you get at the Prairie School, which is a very high one, but also their girls soccer team that advanced. Division 1, no surprise that Muskego is there on the girls' side. Trying to win, I think, their 78th straight championship. I'm corrected, 79th, yes, by Wayne Howard. Thank you. You can understand how I've lost count. Oregon, great program in the Madison area. Used to seeing the Panthers there as well. Division 2, a school I know a thing or two about, Brookfield Central. Holman, one of the newer names, admittedly. They advanced with a victory over Sauk Prairie 1-0. Inside the 18. Ball stripped from Nico Pendleton, but RKC Third Coast gets it back. Credit to the back line for Third Coast, and right now they're playing with 3 for the moment in the back from what it appears, but Amond, Pinto, and over on the far side, Benjamin Graham. Good touches early on in this contest, and we mentioned Amond with the assist on the Junga goal. Thus far tonight, RKC unafraid to build out of the back, and with the touches that they're getting, and Juan Schneider has moved a little further forward here at times, but now he comes back and plays a little bit more out of the back. Yeah, it's worked out for them in terms of keeping Edgewater Castle FC's attack out of rhythm. Aim it again. Into the middle. Graham plays a good ball over to the far side. Looked a little optimistic at first, but well played to Alvarez Montenegro. Deflected at the edge of the 18. A little flip of a pass. Gets the counter started, but does not go far for Edgewater Castle. Near side, Eamon. Nice 1-2 ball right back to Senek. Senek, edge of the 18. Simple ball. Shot and another goal! What a start for RKC Third Coast! Zuniga got a touch. Played it towards the front of the goal. And it's on and it's in for Senek. The floodgates have opened for RKC Third Coast. They have scored as many goals in the first 38 minutes of this match as they have to date this season. And RKC Third Coast has a 3-0 lead. Edgewater Castle FC's defense has really struggled to mark RKC Third Coast inside the 18. We have seen a few different times tonight. Where RKC Third Coast players have taken passes in position where there is not a defender within 4 or 5 yards. The first couple times, they directed the ball right at Galante, but now they're finding the angles and they're putting it in. Too heavy of a touch. Goes out for a goal kick. Zuniga gets the assist. Of course, he had a goal in the 27th minute. We'll take pause for a second here before the goal kick as Nick Diana's shoe came untied. He'll get some assistance with that. Our referee ensuring that, yes, the shoe is untied. Doing the important job that a referee does. Diana forcing Edgewater Castle FC to expel some energy, and we should remind you, though you may have heard it in the stadium as well, that yet another goal for RKC Third Coast is sponsored by High Point Accounting and Advisory. Starting to think we need an accountant to keep track of all of these goals. High Point provides outsourced bookkeeping and financial advisory services for small businesses and nonprofits across the region. If you run a business and want a team that knows your numbers, visit highpointaccounts.com, edge of the 18 for Edgewater Castle. But once again, outstanding defense for RKC Third Coast. A lot of contact on the far side. We're going to have a foul called. Looked like that went against Jack McFeely. Came in sliding, feet off the ground. A little surprised that our referee didn't consider going to his book there. More contact on the part of McFeely. This time he mostly gets ball. Juan Schneider sends it about 75 feet up into the air. It'll go out to touch, and it'll be a throw-in for Edgewater Castle FC. Overcast skies, and it looks like there might be a small amount of precipitation that will be joining us. Two touches to the near side for Edgewater Castle FC. Chalik. Good defense. Edgewater has to play it all the way back. Chayuk to the keeper Galante. Chayuk again. To the far side as Edgewater tries to settle things down and just maintain possession for a little while. Again, 3 goals already for RKC Third Coast. Best match they have played thus far. On the attack. Sent out to touch, but we're going to have a whistle first. As they say that the ball went out before the previous couple touches. Throw in from there. Once again, it's McFeely, this time on the near side. Once again, played out to touch. Another throw in for Castle. Nice step over move. Ball sent over the top of Shalik. Edge of the 18. Shot taken and saved by Diana. Carlos Nevarez. A twisting, right-footed poke of a shot. But Nick Diana up to the challenge. A save for Diana brought to you by Camp Shutout. The world's largest youth goalkeeper camp. 800 keepers from 46 states and multiple countries. Visit campshutout.com to learn more about what Camp Shutout has to offer. Get on that waiting list. It is too late for this year's camp, pretty much, folks. But you can find out about next year's waiting list. To give you an idea how Camp Shutout works, it is so popular that they send out an email to kids who attend the camp basically right at the end of camp that allows them to verbally commit to the following year's camp. And typically, upwards of 75% of the keepers make that verbal commitment. After that, then there's the opportunity for keepers to try and sign up, but it fills up fast, and there's a waiting list fast. Oftentimes, the only reason keepers don't come back is just because they age out. It is truly one of the country's great experiences for goalkeepers. I am fortunate enough to be there all 2 weeks. We talk so much here, and when we have stand on, we talk about it even more, about the uniqueness of the position, the culture. Talked about it. How many years have I been going there? Wayne Howard asked me. I would say 17 now, I think it's up to. I remember going to my first couple in the late 2000s. And yeah, it's not just the fact, as we have now a lot of conversation inside the box. There was some contact between the RKC Third Coast player and the Edgewater Castle FC player. Clearly Edgewater Castle feeling that there was an issue, but our referee vehemently making the case that no, There not only should not be a foul, but that he no longer wants to hear the complaints. Drop ball. But camp shutout is, again, a lot of players who are in a very lonely position much of the time, spending half their match with no one within 40 yards of them, perhaps only the fans behind the goal if you are at a facility that allows such a thing. But what happens at Camp Shutout is you get to be among the people who are part of your culture. And you get to spend a whole week with folks who get what it's like to be in that position when you spend so much time around those who don't understand why you would even choose to be in such a position. We will have 4 minutes of added time. 4 minutes will be put on the clock. Diana sends it away after it went out over the goal line for a goal kick. Solid first half for RKC Third Coast. And not just the finishes, how much possession they've had, how much they have locked down Edgewater Castle FC on the attack in this match. Realizing here that our graphic has not been adding goals, we'll put those up. When you have a 3-0 lead, shout it to the world. Print it everywhere, right? Diana. Out to touch. Edgewater trying to take this throw in quickly. Nifty touch. Played back. Following the cheeky ball, McFeely plays it towards the middle, but Edgewater, they have tried to do a lot of things through the funnel, as it were, towards the top of the 18. Not a lot of play near the edges, and you've seen how often RKC Third Coast has used their opportunities along the edges to create crosses, high crosses, low crosses. A lot of variety tonight from the RKC Third Coast attack. We will get a corner here for Edgewater Castle FC. Good chance, too. This will be the last attacking opportunity for either side in this first half. The ball departed Pritchard Park, so another one has to be sent over. We see the bowling form of our referee. Clearly, he has a good average. I'm thinking around like 233, actually. Wayne Howard with the 247 suggestion. We'll ask him after the match. Over the top, tipped up and over the bar by Diana. Another corner kick for Edgewater, but Nick Diana with the athletic save as he goes high into the air and keeps that headed ball from heading across the goal line. This time an in-swinger, maybe looking for an Olympico. Looked like it went off the crossbar, directly off the corner kick. Played towards midfield. Stepped on the ball. Edgewater gets it back for the moment. Through the middle. A lot of contact. Down goes McFeely. No whistle, no foul. Ball played over the top. Luke Van Leer cannot find a teammate in white and blue stripes. Goal kick for RKC Third Coast. Our referee looks at his watch, then blows his whistle and points to the center spot. That brings the first half to an end. Your score, RKC Third Coast 3, Edgewater Castle FC 0. Goals by Zuniga in the 27th, Junga in the 29th, and Senek in the 38th. And that's why RKC Third Coast has the advantage through 45 minutes. We'll come back and talk a little about what we saw in the first half, as well as get you ready for the second half in a few moments. This is RKC Third Coast Soccer. Halftime here at Pritchard Park in Racine. And while we have a few moments at the half, we do want to thank some of RKC Third Coast's great sponsors, like the official gym of RKC Third Coast, Razor Sharp Fitness, a gym with 2 locations in Racine and Mount Pleasant. Whether you're just getting started or you've been training for years, Razor Sharp has the facility and the programs to meet you where you are. Find them at razorsharpfit.com. Red Onion Cafe is the official post-game meal provider for RKC Third Coast. Red Onion is located at 555 Main Street in Racine. For breakfast, lunch, or catering, Red Onion Cafe is your first choice. Visit redonionracine.com for their menu or to book an event. RKC Third Coast also cares about the coast that it is on and the water that pours onto that coast. Root Pike Win, a community partner, is the organization working to restore the Root River, Pike River, and the watersheds that feed directly into Lake Michigan right here in our backyard. Pritchard Park is part of what they're fighting to protect. Learn more and get involved at Root, R-O-O-T, PikeWin.org. R-O-O-T, PikeWin. Not Rookpite, rootpikewin.org. Wrapped my tongue around my eye tooth, couldn't see what I was saying. Also, Milwaukee Riverkeeper, a community-led organization doing advocacy, education, and science to protect and restore the Milwaukee River Basin, believes clean water in this region doesn't happen on its own. It takes people showing up year after year. Milwaukee Riverkeeper is among those people. Visit MilwaukeeRiverkeeper.org to find out more information. 3 goals for RKC Third Coast in that first half, and all of them as pretty as you would want them to be. Scoring got started with Alejandro Zuniga, assisted by Nico Pendleton. Again, it came as part of the aftermath of a corner. I'm not going to say it was directly off the corner or as the result of the corner, but ball comes into the middle, and again, a couple options were there for Pendleton. Zuniga was the one who happened to be in the right place at the right time, and that confused the Edgewater Castle FC keeper in Galante. Ultimately, Zuniga was able to slide it past Galante and into the goal to get the scoring started for RKC Third Coast. Then it was pretty much the next time down the pitch. Nick Senek plays a beautiful ball into Bienvenu Junga, who on the run just has to take one touch and put it in the back of the net. Great look for Junga, and it makes it 2-0 just that quickly. A 1-2 punch for RKC Third Coast in the middle of the first half. And then in the 38th minute, Senek this time was the recipient of a pass from Zuniga. Senek, right in front of the goal, unmarked, was able to make the right moves to beat the keeper Galante and score the third RKC Third Coast goal to make it 3-0. If you're RKC Third Coast, you don't want to get too complacent here. Again, USL2 is known as a high-scoring league. So if you put yourself in a position where defensively you're sitting back with 5 in the back and just letting the attack come to you, Edgewater Castle FC has shown a couple times tonight with some good challenges on Nick Diana in goal for RKC Third Coast that they are able to put the ball on frame. However, if you are RKC Third Coast, you probably don't want to go into full desperate attack mode for the next 45 minutes as well. You want to play under control and maintain possession. Really keep that possession as well as you have. Definitely, if opportunities open up, you don't want to stop creating them. Keep sending players towards goal. Keep looking for those runners. These one-touch plays have been quality tonight for RKC Third Coast. That first touch, you'll remember back the last time Stan Anderson and I were on the RKC Third Coast broadcast. Saw a lot of struggle with the first touch for RKC Third Coast tonight. We've already seen some one-touch goals tonight in this contest. RKC Third Coast getting that goal from Junga, where he only had to take the one touch and play it across the keeper to get that second goal for RKC Third Coast. Continue looking for those if you see them. But again, don't be afraid to maintain possession as well with this 3-goal lead, particularly if that lead stands into the latter parts of the second half. We're going to take pause one more time. When we come back, we will have that second half of action for you From Pritchard Park, it's the USL 2 Heartland Division and it's RKC Third Coast with a 3-0 lead right now on Edgewater Castle FC. This is RKC Third Coast Soccer. About to get started here with the second half of play as RKC Third Coast takes on Edgewater Castle FC, and it is the Third Coast with the 3-goal lead right now. 1 goal for each coast, you could even say. 3-0, the advantage for RKC Third Coast over Edgewater Castle FC as we get set for this second half of play. Have not been informed of any substitutes just yet for the second half of play. The way things have gone for RKC Third Coast, would not be surprised if they decide to keep their same 11 out there to start the second half. However, for Edgewater Castle FC, We'll have to try and see if they go with a different combination. And in fact, we do see a different face out there right now for Edgewater Castle FC. It looks like Stefan Momcilovic is out there. Stefan, part of the Momcilovic family. You may know Milan Momcilovic, one of the best college basketball players in the Kentucky. In the country. I said in the Kentucky in part because that is where he is transferring to. Has spent the last few years at Iowa State. Momcilovic, a Pewaukee Pirate product. Just had the chance to reference Pewaukee recently. I was out in Madison for the WIAA State Softball Championships, and the Pewaukee Pirates finished as Division II runners-up in the softball realm, and we were talking about Milan Momcilovic as Pewaukee made its way through the bracket. And now we see Stefan Momcilovic out there for Edgewater Castle FC. About to kick things off here, and it will be RKC Third Coast to kick things off in the second half. RKC Third Coast wearing their red and black striped home kits, their 2026 kit. The away strip for Edgewater Castle FC, white with light blue stripes and light blue numbers that are very difficult to see, along with red shorts, light blue trim on those shorts, and light blue socks for Edgewater Castle FC. Little push, and we will get a foul called against Edgewater Castle FC. That was Alan Alonso who committed that foul on Junga. This ball will be 40 yards out from goal. Alejandro Zuniga, after the referee goes to the disappearing spray to put down the line for the two-man wall for Edgewater Castle FC. Not necessarily much of a need for the disappearing spray when you have football markings, but ball hit it towards goal and saved by Galante. Second minute of the second half, and already RKC Third Coast picking up where they left off. Berguinha with the header towards goal, but it's saved by Galante. RKC Third Coast takes possession back. In the back. Ball played to the near side, and that's a new face for RKC Third Coast. It is Lucas Aonen. Lucas Ahonen, who is out there now, playing a right wing back position. A lot of contact. Alvarez Montenegro goes down. Referee says play on, at least for the time being. Chunga, far side, plays the ball towards the middle. Second pass into the trees. Zuniga. It'll be cleared away. We won't have anything yet in terms of any further punishment for the foul where advantage was ruled and RKC continued to play on. Now that the ball goes out to touch, we do look to the referee, but he does not go to his pocket. Was quite the foul, however, not ruled to be bookable. Getting word on our substitutes up here in the box. Roy Miguel Borges Slice came in for Edgewater Castle FC as well. Borges Slice. Also, Eleanor Rubio in for Edgewater Castle FC. So, multiple changes for Castle. Unsurprising, given the way that the first half went for them, where again they allowed 3 goals, 2 of them in rapid succession. Cleared through the air by Benjamin Graham. He'll get another touch on it after it was played by Edgewater Castle FC. Nice through ball. Diana comes off his line and is able to steal it away before Edgewater can create much of that attack. You did have Jack McFeely in the area, but Diana got there first. Also, Sebastian Bugeri came in for Edgewater Castle FC. So really a new look for Edgewater Castle FC as they bring a number of new faces on to give them an opportunity in the second half. Given this is a 3-0 match, unsurprising on the part of Edgewater Castle FC that they decide to go with that different look. Ball played to the near side. That will go out to touch throw in for the Castle. In just about every way, RKC Third Coast looked like the better side in the first half. The score representative of the quality of play for both sides. And not necessarily that we've seen anything egregiously poor from Edgewater Castle FC other than some of the marking inside the 18. Defensively, there have been times tonight here in chaos in the box where Edgewater Castle FC has not been able to make sense of things. Big time push in the back, Ryan Amon. He'll be called for that foul. Set piece here from 36 yards out for the Castle. Two men on top of the ball. Jungo will be the one to stare down the set piece taker, whoever it may be. Sent in with the left foot, Diana. He's the only one in the vicinity, and he pulls it out of the sky. Not really much of a set piece routine there, even for Edgewater Castle. A little surprised that there was no one closer to where that free kick was taken. Ball played all the way back to Diana. Again, more pressure applied by McFeely, but Nick Diana has been calm when facing that pressure tonight. Sliding challenge won by Edgewater Castle FC, although they have to play it to their back line. Now they'll try and work the far wing. We are seeing them work the wings a little bit more than they did in the first half. Mentioned that near the end of the first half, they were really focused on the funnel. Contact in the box, and wow. Our referee simply points to the goal for a goal kick, and 5 Edgewater Castle players come forward to ask why a PK was not given, but really it did not look like there was excessive contact. If anything, some simulation. Nonetheless, Edgewater Castle FC does get possession back, and they will try and work it through the back. Just working it through their back four and their central defensive midfielder. Now finally played forward. Good work on the part of Alejandro Zuniga to get possession back. He's onside. Takes the ball from Junga at the wing. Let's see if he'll look to get the early cross. No, he'll try and break down his defender. He finds Junga. Back to Zuniga. Ball played back, and that's one of those new faces that's out there, Lucas Ahonen. Ball played over to the far side. Again, this is what we talked about at halftime. RKC Third Coast content now to just settle into possession and look for good opportunities. Try and find the open man. That ball played just a bit too far for Berguigna. And now we will have a booking shown that will go against RKC Third Coast and Ben Graham. Believe it was Graham. Card was shown in his direction. We'll wait, see, maybe. Now we're being corrected. It was not Graham. It was Berguigna. Tiago takes the booking, and that's much easier to say, as I will just go first name. Ball to the back. Second booking of the match. Jack Wanschneider took one earlier in the contest. Spitznagel tries to play that ball forward, but it's taken away by RKC Third Coast. Tiago. Nice move through the middle. Rough challenge, and we do get the whistle and the foul. Ben Graham was being ridden hard by Borges Slice. And now Borges Slice shown yellow. That yellow is straight up for dissent, and it comes in the 56th minute. The foul itself was not enough to warrant the booking. But Borges Slice, given some of what else we have seen here, probably had a word or two for our official, and that was when the booking came out. Number 10 for Edgewater Castle FC, Roy Miguel Borges Slice takes their first booking of the match and the third booking of the match overall. Ball played over the head of Alan Alonso, but possession taken back by RKC Third Coast. Near side, Zuniga. In short spaces, the battle is won by Edgewater Castle FC. Nice little back heel on the part of Jack McFeely. A lot of contact there. Down goes Alonso. No call. Alonso looked like he might have hopped forward a little bit there, and we're at the stage now where you can see frustration starting to set in for Edgewater Castle. They are trying to win calls that are not there, and then taking out their frustration on RKC Third Coast and getting called. Possession here, edge of the 18. But good work by RKC Third Coast to earn the goal kick. We are in the 58th minute. Diana, interesting choice. Basically lines one off the back of Momcilovic. Perhaps was looking through Momcilovic in trying to make a pass. Ball into the middle. Can't be chased down at first by Edgewater Castle FC. Another back heel. But again, when you can't see your target, you also can't see the defender playing the ball. And again, another thing that Stan and I have talked about on the broadcasts previously, the fact that a simple ball with purpose oftentimes is better than a fancy ball where you're hoping for the best. A lot of contact. Wow. And just the expressiveness that we are seeing. You want to talk about dissent. Edgewater Castle, Sebastian Bouguer throwing his hands in the air to complain about the fact that there was no call. RKC Third Coast now putting something together. Ball over the top. Well defended on the part of Takeru Chiba. So interestingly, here we're getting word up in the box that there was no caution against Edgewater Castle FC. We saw the referee go to his book. But apparently there was no booking there, so we'll continue to play on. Right side, right-footed shot. Saved by Galante. Now we'll get the whistle and the foul call. Now we're starting to get both sides unhappy with the officiating. You saw the reaction there after the shot was taken by Zuniga. Easily saved by Galante. Then Zuniga called for the foul. We're also starting to see some chippiness between the teams here. And now we've got some pushing and shoving going on at midfield off ball as this is played forward to the edge of the 18. But a little Ben Graham shove in the back of Alan Rubio, and then Alan Rubio returning the favor. So some things to watch off ball here, as clearly some of what is going on away from the officiating is impacted by the fact that there have been some calls that have not been made. And now you're getting to the point where both teams are trying to get away with things, and that can create negative situations. RKC settling in defensively here, allowing Edgewater Castle to get some quality touches, but that is a poor pass, and that is picked up by Lucas Ahonen. Ahonen. Now we'll get a whistle, and this time we will get a booking. The yellow card is out, and it is shown. Alan Rubio will be the one to take that caution. The booking comes in the 61st minute against Alan Rubio. That is now the third booking of the match. Thought we had one earlier. Apparently we did not. A lot of contact there, and let's see if the card comes out again. If it does, I believe that is Rubio. Yes, it is Rubio one more time, so he has to be extra careful, and he is getting a long talking to from our referee, who is saying, I do not want to send anyone off in this match, but I will if I have to. Ball over the top. Comes to the feet of Junga. Junga with that goal in the 29th minute. Joined by Senek and Zuniga in the scoring column for RKC Third Coast as part of a assault on goal that lasted 11 minutes. The floodgates opened for a brief time for RKC Third Coast. But since, possession been fairly even, to be honest with you. A little bit more possession here in the second half for Edgewater Castle FC than perhaps we've seen earlier. That's a shot and a save for Diana. Well taken on the part of Jack McFeely, who has been a busy body for the Edgewater Castle FC side tonight. However, Diana, not particularly challenged by that ball, as it was right at him. We'll get a couple substitutions coming in for RKC Third Coast, and of course that Diana save was brought to you by Camp Shutout, the official save sponsor for RKC Third Coast. Camp Shutout, the world's largest youth goalkeeper camp with 800 keepers from 46 states and multiple countries. Visit campshutout.com to learn more about what Camp Shutout has to offer. Coming off for RKC Third Coast, both Tiago and Junga Reyes Parra among those who comes in for RKC Third Coast. Appears as though Junga is still out there. So it was Nico Pendleton who came off for RKC Third Coast. Also, Antonio Delgado comes on for Third Coast. Collision at the goal line between the defender and the keeper Galante, and it will result in an RKC Third Coast corner kick presented by the Prairie School. Interesting situation there, miscommunication between defender and keeper. Galante had a clear beat on the ball, but perhaps did not clarify to his back line that he had it. Either that or the defender simply could not stop. And in the end, Momcilovic was the one who ran over Galante, resulting in this corner kick. Played across, kept on at least for the moment by RKC Third Coast. Alvarez Montenegro. Deep in the corner. RKC Third Coast can't win the battle. We'll have a throw-in for Edgewater Castle FC. 66th minute of the match. Again, Third Coast with goals in the 27th, 29th, and 38th minutes, and that's what has them on top right now, 3-0. A lot of holding, and we do get a whistle and a foul called against Third Coast. Lucas Ahonen. I'm getting closer. Getting closer. Ahonen. 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 Okay. Putting the right emphasis on the correct syllable, yes. Into the middle, a lot of space on the right side of the pitch for Edgewater Castle FC. Coming up to challenge, though. Alvarez Montenegro. Ball goes out to touch. It will be a throw-in for Alvarez Montenegro and RKC Third Coast. Pace of this match has slowed some in recent times, and not saying by any stretch of the imagination that Edgewater Castle FC has surrendered on this match, but you are seeing, even with some of the new bodies out there for Edgewater Castle FC, that they have been unable to really build much in terms of possession and creating quality opportunities. And when you're down 3 goals and you don't have possession and you don't have opportunities, you know what direction the match is headed in. And RKC Third Coast taking advantage. Some mature play here, too, on the part of RKC Third Coast, even as chippy as this match has been at times. Diana not only secures that ball, but throws a leg up to just make sure that there's no funny business on the part of Edgewater Castle FC and Sebastian Buguer. Ball sent out to the touchline on the near side. Throw in for RKC Third Coast. Graham went too forward and decided not to take throw in the end. Ahonen is the one who takes the throw. However, it goes out to touch again, this time in favor of Edgewater Castle FC. Played towards the far side. Nice ball sent forward on the part of Alonso. In front of the goal, Diana comes off his line. Good aggressive move by Nick Diana. Jack McFeely was there, and McFeely has been the most dangerous of the attackmen for Edgewater Castle FC tonight. But Nick Diana holds on to not only the ball, but his clean sheet. Ball played to the far side in the 70th minute. Momentarily cleared by RKC Third Coast. Possession taken back, though, by Edgewater Castle FC. Momcilovic plays a ball into the middle. Deflected up into the air. RKC Third Coast content to play small ball through the back. into the middle. One touch. Taken by Delgado. Delgado goes down. Near side, 1v1. Shot saved by Galante. It will result in a corner kick for RKC Third Coast. Rising to his feet, Delgado, wondering why we did not have a foul called there, but certainly advantage in terms of RKC Third Coast with the 1v1 opportunity, even with Galante getting the save. Another corner kick for RKC Third Coast, brought to you by the Prairie School. Clock will tick over to the 71st minute. More pushing and shoving in front of the goal. This time it's Galante who shoves Junga. Junga is having a conversation with the defender. You have to think at some point the official is going to get a little tired of this. William Spitznagel is the defender in front of Junga. Into the middle, headed away at first by Edgewater Castle FC. Second ball also headed away from goal, but possession is taken back by RKC Third Coast. Reyes Para now out there for the Third Coast. Diana kind of steps on the ball, has to hesitate for a moment, but at least he's able to get it away. Mildly dangerous situation. Junga well offside. And even with the offside call, Junga decides to quote-unquote finish, and he will be shown yellow for the delay tactic. Booking for Junga in the 72nd minute. That's the sort of play like in basketball where after a guy gets fouled, he still takes a shot. The problem is in basketball, the clock stops. Bienvenu says hello to a yellow card, and hopefully that does not stack up at the end of the season, because that's certainly one that came at an affordable price. Let's just put it that way. Long ball played forward, too long for everybody, out in the touch, throw in for RKC Third Coast. And again, the pace of this match slowing as it has speaks to how RKC Third Coast has really taken control of this match. They are now dictating the tempo in all of the ways that they want to. As a whistle and a foul. That goes against RKC Third Coast. We'll have a set-piece opportunity coming up for Edgewater. This will come from about 14 yards outside the 18. McFeely tying his shoe. Sort of thing that usually you see from the team with the 3-0 advantage rather than down 3-0, given the time that it takes. Although, again, that can factor into the added time. And if anything, that might be McFeely trying to convince the official to even put more time on due to the stoppage. Touchdown over the goal line. Well clear of everyone. RKC Third Coast content to concede the corner. Corner played short. Sent towards goal by McFeely. Deflected away by a defender. Now cleared by RKC Third Coast. 50-50 ball. Still up for grabs. Possession finally taken by Edgewater, but a simple pass that is not well played. Edgewater does get possession back, though. McFeely doesn't have the angle on the ball. Good positioning on the part of Joao Pinto. And that allows the ball to go to Nick Diana, who can just play it about in the back until pressure is applied. Then he can pick it up and roll it into a better situation. 75th minute. The clock is now the enemy of Edgewater Castle FC. if you are Edgewater, you probably just want to try and get a goal here to just start something for your side, given that you haven't really had much attacking skill in the second half. Not many challenges against Nick Diana in this second half of play, as RKC Third Coast has, again, been able to truly control the tempo. That is McFeely on the near side, but almost by accident, the ball is taken off of his feet by Alvarez Montenegro. Once, then twice. Now cleared. Possession taken back, though, by Edgewater Castle FC. To the far side. Edgewater pulls back to try and spread out the RKC defense. It does open some passing lanes. McFeely again. Quite key to the attack for Edgewater Castle FC. Ball played into the middle. Good run. Just not a good, clean first touch. And RKC Third Coast able to get out on the counter. Far side. Senek. He's got Junga. He's also got Delgado coming in. Delgado, one touch. Up and over the bar. Delgado goes down. They'll say it was deflected, so it'll be a corner kick for RKC Third Coast. Both Junga and Delgado on the run on the counter. Options there for Senek. In the end, it was Delgado who ended up at least taking the shot, though it was again deflected up and over the bar. Now we'll have another corner kick for RKC Third Coast, brought to you by the Prairie School, who's going to have to raise tuition with as many times as they've gotten their sponsor mention in tonight. In swinger. Very easy for Galante. Looking to counter, Edgewater Castle FC off of the corner with RKC up for the corner. McFeely. Nothing there on his first look. Second look. Tries to send it to the far side of the pitch. Headed away initially. Challenge from behind on the part of Ryan Amond. But it goes out touch. Throw in for Edgewater Castle FC. Ball played forward, looking to try and create a counter for RKC Third Coast. Nothing there. Now we see Galante well out of goal, as he will have to be, again, as he tries to really push this Edgewater Castle FC team forward. But again, Edgewater Castle FC, it would be interesting to see their pass completion percentage tonight. They have, again, with a lot of these smaller balls that they have played, it just seems like the vision isn't there before they make the pass, and they're sending a lot of passes directly to defenders' feet. To the near side. Spitznagel on this near side. Nice ball played forward. But again, good defense by RKC Third Coast, and ultimately cleared off the line. More 50-50 play. Junga played over to the far side, and that's good work and good vision by RKC Third Coast to see the empty space. And right now, that's pretty much all you need to do. Junga onside. Thinks about the left foot, thinks about the right foot, takes the shot with the left foot after he gets the defender to fall down. It's saved by Galante. Junga gets it back. RKC Third Coast resets along the goal line. It stays on. And possession now taken by Edgewater Castle FC as they will play it forward. Now they have some room on the counter themselves. Junga, what impressive moves. And again, with that calm over the ball, with a couple defenders there, gets one defender to fall down. Takes a shot that ends up saved. RKC couldn't get anything else to materialize from that, but an outstanding move by Junga in that situation. Definitely a great opportunity. And once again, while a fourth goal is not essential here for RKC Third Coast, if you can get it, you're not going to turn it down. 80th minute, RKC Third Coast, this has been a scoreless second half. But in the first half, once we got to that 27th minute mark, RKC Third Coast started to look like the Germans against Brazil once upon a time. At least for a span of 11 minutes. Germany also scoring a lot of goals against Curacao today. And one of the things we're finding out with this expanded World Cup format is that in group play, there are going to be a few mismatches. There may be more teams and countries involved, but that does not necessarily mean that those countries from 32 and 48 and onward downward are of the highest quality or have raised their game. Just because they have made it to the World Cup does not mean when they're taking on some of the top flight clubs from around the world, they aren't going to run into trouble. Shot taken and scored! A brilliant move! And RKC Third Coast makes it 4 in the 81st minute. It is Antonio Delgado with the excellent individual effort. He hesitated, got the defender on skates, and it's on and in. Goal in the 81st minute for Delgado. And it's now 4-0 in favor of Third Coast. A complete performance tonight by RKC Third Coast. 4 goals and 3 points coming their way in just a few minutes. A couple of subs come on for RKC Third Coast. That'll be the end of the night for Fabian Aviles Montenegro. Also coming off, Joao Pinto. And he had an outstanding match. Ryan Robleski comes on for RKC Third Coast. Also on for RKC, Timoteo Aleku. RKC Third Coast goal in the 81st minute for Antonio Delgado. 4 different goal scorers tonight for Third Coast. He joins Zuniga, Chunga, and Senek. Ball played to the far side. Outstanding defensive work again from RKC Third Coast and Delgado. That is another goal that is brought to you by High Point Accounting and Advisory. High Point provides outsourced bookkeeping and financial advisory services for small businesses and nonprofits across the region. If you run a business and want a team that knows your numbers, visit highpointaccounts.com. Ball played out to touch. Another throw in for RKC Third Coast. This one's pretty much in the bag for RKC Third Coast at this point in time. Now we'll have a whistle, and we're going to have a booking. And not only are we going to have a booking, we're going to have a shove after the booking. You can very clearly see that Stefan Momcilovic is not happy with RKC Third Coast. He came in and even after the booking got a little extra shove in. Name, go, and book. Stefan Momcilovic. '85th minute of this match after the booking. Again, 4-0 in favor of Third Coast. And while Third Coast has had the majority of the possession, that's a shot that will be deflected over the goal line. It'll be a corner kick for RKC Third Coast. It's been more about what they've done with possession than anything. And it's, again, we have seen a lot of matches where teams will have possession, play a lot of simple balls, not really create quality finishes. Tonight, the finishes have been of high quality for RKC Third Coast, and that has made a big difference in this match, obviously from the score. Not just a big difference in this match, but really from what we've seen of RKC Third Coast in this campaign thus far. This is more of what you want to see. That'll be a whistle and a foul against RKC Third Coast in the box. Saw the push off there. Ball played to the far side. Thought we saw Alvarez Montenegro come off, but he's still up top there or still in the back, we should say, for RKC Third Coast. Far side, into the middle. At this point, yeah, for Edgewater Castle FC, it's just about trying to materialize something, and they're holding their shape really well, as you can see right now, and trying to create those angles, opportunities passing-wise. But that's a through ball that's played to no one making a run in particular, and certainly not a shot. Definitely not a great pass. In many ways, that's kind of the story of the night for Edgewater Castle FC. They have, in many instances here tonight, just not been able to create quality balls. The passing in particular has been of issue, and they've had possession. Again, RKC has had the majority of possession, but it's not been so lopsided that it feels like this 4-0 score is what it should be. Based off of possession, you would think maybe 2-1, maybe 2-0, but not necessarily 4-0. It's been the quality of the finishes again tonight for RKC Third Coast, and each of those 4 goals has looked very nice. Nothing was to chance tonight. RKC Third Coast making the most of the chances that they have got. In the box, cross, deflected. Corner kick for Edgewater Castle. We are approaching stoppage time, and there's a good chance that we'll have a decent amount of it. We had 4 minutes in the first half, despite the fact we had the 3 goals. Here in this second half, we have only had the 1 RKC Third Coast goal, but we've had a number of stoppages for bookings, so good chance that that number will be similar, maybe 3 or 4 minutes, although, again, it is all to the discretion of the referees, and again, given the match has been a tad chippy at times tonight, he may choose to put up a smaller number than maybe we think because he just wants to see this one conclude. Number of bookings in this match. It hasn't necessarily been that the play has been spectacularly physical, though there have been some rough tackles. It's more been the chirping, the dissents, the attitude, some of the pushing and shoving going on before and after corners. It has not exactly been a match that has been a shining beacon of sportsmanship, if you will. Sun peeking through the clouds for the first time tonight here at Pritchard Park as that shot is sent wide. We are in the 90th minute. RKC Third Coast able to maintain possession in short spaces, and again, they'll be content at this point. Maybe you sacrifice possession every once in a while, but no need to necessarily push real hard up the pitch when you've got this 4-goal advantage in the 90th minute, obviously. Just trying to keep the clean sheet at this stage for Nick Diana. Into the middle. Sent to the far side. In the sunshine. Maybe that'll warm things up a little bit too. A cool evening here with this breeze, and the flag still blowing stiffly on the far side of the pitch. That wind coming out of the northwest right now. It is, again, moved around a little during the course of the night, but it has stayed strong through the evening, and there were some heavy rains that came through the Milwaukee area, Racine area, Kenosha area earlier this week. Big thunderstorms. Can still feel the humidity in the air. That adds to the coolness. Couple minutes of added time. The only question is if either side can make something of it to put one more goal on. But again, 3 points headed the way of RKC Third Coast as a result of what will at least be a 4-0 victory. Edgewater Castle is trying to assemble something quality one more time here tonight, something that they have not been able to do much of this evening. They did test Nick Diana a few times. Couple shots from point-blank range. Quality opportunities from distance in the first half, but again, nothing much materialized, and did not spend a lot of time in the 18 tonight, it seemed, either. At this point, everybody pretty much just waiting for the final whistle. Through the middle for Edgewater Castle FC. Played to the far side by Borges Reyes. And there we get the whistle and the point to the center spot, and that will do it. A clean sheet for Nick Diana. 4 goals for RKC Third Coast. And 4-0 is your final as RKC Third Coast gets the victory here at Pritchard Park tonight. A complete performance for RKC Third Coast, highlighted by an 11-minute span in which they scored 3 goals. Nick Pendleton got it started with an assist on a goal by Alejandro Zuniga in the 27th minute. Then it was Bienvenu Junga with a one-touch finish on a pass from Nicholas Senek in the 29th minute. Senek got into the scoring column with a goal in the 38th minute on a goal assisted by Zuniga. And then, to cap things off, Antonio Delgado came off the bench in the second half, and he was able to score a goal in the 81st minute, in which he got the defenders to fall and slotted it past the opposing keeper, Joseph Galante. Rough night for Galante tonight, but really not much of his fault, as ultimately RKC Third Coast just too good on the attack tonight, and ultimately Edgewater Castle FC could not get anything to materialize on the attack. And as a result, RKC Third Coast gets this victory. RKC Third Coast would like to thank its sponsors as part of the conclusion of this match. Our corner kick sponsor is the Prairie School. Our title sponsor is High Point Accounting and Advisory. The postgame meal provider is Red Onion Cafe. UWM's School of Freshwater Sciences is also a sponsor for RKC Third Coast. I want to thank them as well. Great folks over at Milwaukee Riverkeeper and our friends at Root Pike Watershed Initiative Network. Without their help, RKC Third Coast Soccer would not be possible. Head to rkcthirdcoast.com if you are also interested in sponsoring RKC Third Coast. The UWM School of Freshwater Sciences is a community partner. They are the only graduate school in the country dedicated entirely to freshwater research, sitting on the shore of the largest freshwater system in the world. Learn more at uwm.edu/freshwater. That'll do it for this broadcast here tonight. My name is Dan Pfeiffer. My thanks to Wayne Howard for helping out with this one. Remember, you can catch all RKC Third Coast Soccer via the USL website and Sports Engine. Make sure to tune in the next time we are here. Once again, your final score, RKC Third Coast 4, Edgewater Castle 0. This is Dan Pfeiffer saying be a fan and good night, everybody.